For most of human history, Antarctica was more legend than fact. Ancient civilizations whispered of a great southern land, a vast continent at the bottom of the world. They called it Terra Australis incognita, the unknown southern land. To them, it was not simply a curiosity, it was a balancing force. If great continents existed in the north, surely the Earth required another in the south to keep its symmetry. Long before modern explorers reached its shores, maps were drawn that hinted at Antarctica's existence. The most famous is the Piri Reis Map, created in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral. This map, pieced together from older sources, appears to show the coastline of Antarctica, not as it looks today, buried under ice, but as it might have appeared thousands of years ago when it was free of glaciers. Historians argue over its accuracy, but the question remains. How could a 16th century map depict something supposedly unknown until 1820? Was Antarctica discovered in some distant past, long before our textbooks admit? The first confirmed sightings of Antarctica came only in the early 19th century. In 1820, Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen, a Russian naval officer, recorded seeing the ice-covered coast. Within days, other explorers from Britain and America reported similar discoveries. What they saw was not the fertile land suggested by old myths, but a frozen wasteland of ice cliffs and deadly seas. And yet, despite its harshness, interest in this frozen frontier only grew. Throughout the 19th century, expeditions were launched to chart its coasts and uncover its secrets. Sealing and whaling ships pushed further south, risking storms and icebergs in pursuit of profit. Explorers like James Clark Ross mapped great stretches of coastline, discovering massive glaciers and naming the Ross Sea. The age of Antarctic exploration had begun, but it came at great cost. Ships were crushed by ice, crews stranded for months, and supplies ran out in the endless night of the polar winter. The early 20th century brought a new age of heroes. Ernest Shackleton, Robert Falcon Scott, and Roald Amundsen led daring expeditions to the heart of the continent. Their goal, to reach the South Pole, the very bottom of the world. The journeys were brutal, winds strong enough to strip flesh, temperatures colder than any known place on Earth, and a silence so deep it felt otherworldly. In 1911, Amundsen and his Norwegian team reached the pole first, planting their flag in triumph. A month later, Scott's British expedition arrived, only to face tragedy on their return journey, where the entire team perished in the snow. Shackleton's expeditions became legendary, not for reaching the pole, but for their extraordinary tales of survival after ships were trapped and destroyed by ice. These stories cemented Antarctica in the imagination of the world, a place of both awe and terror. Yet behind the romantic tales of exploration, deeper questions lingered. Why did so many nations, at great expense and risk, race to claim pieces of this barren, icy land? Was it simply national pride, or did they suspect Antarctica held something more? As the ice revealed glimpses of ancient rock, scientists began to understand that Antarctica was not always a frozen desert. Fossils of ferns and even dinosaurs were discovered, proving that millions of years ago, this continent had once been warm, green, and alive. Evidence suggested it had drifted to its present position through the slow movement of tectonic plates, eventually becoming encased in ice. But if Antarctica had once been lush, what might still lie hidden beneath its miles-thick glaciers? Could ruins of an ancient civilization be entombed there, waiting to be uncovered? The frozen frontier was no longer just about exploration. It became a mystery, a riddle of time and memory. And as the 20th century progressed, Antarctica would become the stage for even stranger events. Secret expeditions, military missions, and international treaties that locked away its secrets from ordinary people. But before those mysteries, we must understand this first chapter, the moment humanity came face to face with the last great continent. Antarctica, vast and silent, tested the limits of human endurance and imagination. It was the end of the known world, yet perhaps also the beginning of a story far older and far stranger than we ever realized. This frozen frontier would not give up its secrets easily. But from the earliest maps to the heroic age of exploration, one truth became clear. Antarctica was never just a place on the edge of the map. It was a key, perhaps the greatest key, to unlocking the hidden history of our world, and this was only the beginning.